Hello students, this is the second chapter of grammar, that is about nouns. We will study specifically about number, that is singular, plural, gender and case. Now the nouns, as you know, they are when we talk about number, they are singular and plural. When we are talking about one person, place, animal or thing, it is said to be in singular. And when we are saying we are talking about two or more people, animals or things, it is said to be in the plural form. Now there are ways how singular can be changed into plural. Generally, the way of changing singular into plural is by adding s to the singular word. That is done with all common and collective nouns. Like you can see the example, teacher becomes teachers, bottle becomes bottles, or book can become books, star can become stars. So these are simple ways how you can change a singular into plural simply by adding s. Now those words which end with an o or they end with a hissing sound such as ch, sh, s, ss or x. Now hissing sound is fox, bush. You can see the examples written in your book. Bench, ass. These are the words which end with a hissing sound. So you will always put an es after the singular word to change it into plural. Like if you have to change the word bush into plural, you will write bushes, you will add es. Or if you have to change the word ass into plural, you will write asses, adding es. Or words like mango, which end with o, they'll end with es when they are plural, so it will become mangoes. Now it's not necessary every time a singular word ends with an o, you have to end it with an es. Like you can see further on, there are words like photo or piano. They take single s in their plural forms. They do not need es. Like photo becomes simply put an s, photos. Or radio becomes simple, you put an s and it becomes radios. So they do not need es. This will come with practice, and you have to remember the words which end with o, certain words that require es to become plural, and there are certain words which require s to become plural. Now when we come to the next page, you will see there are words which end with y in the singular. In the first column, topmost column, you will see the words which end with y, the singular words. Now all these words which end with y, whenever there will be a consonant before the y. Consonant means all the letters apart from vowels. They are called consonants. Whenever there will be a consonant before y, to make the word plural, you will have to add ies. Like you can see in city, there is a consonant before y, t. Or in puppy, there is a consonant before y, p. So whenever a word which ends with y and just before y there is a consonant, the plural will always carry ies. On the other hand, if the word is ending with y but just before y there is a vowel, like you can see in day, just before y it's a. Or in monkey, you can see just before y it is e. These are all vowels. So whenever a word will end in y and there will be a vowel just before y, in that case, to make the word plural, you only have to add an s. Then the next we'll come to the words which end with f or fe. Whenever a word ends with F or FE, you'll always have to add VES. Like leaf, it ends with F, you will add VES in the plural and it becomes leaves. Or shelf, it ends with F, so it will become shelves. In the plural, there will be no F. You have to add VES. Take out the F and add VES. Now there are certain exceptions to this rule. It's not necessary that every time a word ends with F, you add VES. Like you can see in your book, there are words like chief. So to make it plural, you do not have to write CHIEVES. That will be wrong. Like I said, there are certain words which end with F, but there are exceptions where you will not add VES to make its plural. There are a few words which end with F, and to make the plural, you will write an S. There is no need to add a VES. Then, the nouns which have more than one word, like mother-in-law or washerman, these have more than one word. In such words, you will add S to the main word, like mother-in-law. So, when you are talking about 2 or 3 mothers-in-law, in that case, you will say mothers-in-law. You won't say mother-in-laws. You will add S to the main word, that is the first word. Or if there are many passers-by, then there are many people who are passing by. Then you will not say there were many passer-bys. That will be wrong. You will write there were many passers-by. Fine? Then, another way of changing from singular to plural is when you change the vowel which is used in the middle of a word or a noun. Like you can see the example of man. There is a vowel in between, that is A. You will just change the vowel and make it E. The plural will be there, men. Or, for example, tooth. You have 2 vowels over there, double O. You'll just have to change the vowel and it will become teeth. When you're talking about tooth, you're talking about one. When you're talking about teeth, you're talking about many. Then there is a way how you can change from singular to plural by adding EN or REN. For example, ox, that will become oxen, or child will become children. Then sometimes you have to add S or apostrophe S to change from singular to plural. Like for example, if I say the songs that we used to hear in 1990s. Now I'm not talking about a particular year. I'm talking about the time period from 1990 to 1999. I'm talking about all these 10 years. Then I will not write the specific year. I will write 1990s. So I'm not talking about 1 year, I'm talking about many years. But all in the frame of 90s. All those years which came between 1990 to 1999. So I'll write 1990s. If I want to refer to many people who are MLAs, then I will not write there were many MLA. I can simply write there were MLAs. Right? There were many people who were all MLA. Then there are cases when there is no change in the word or the spelling of the noun and the same word will be in singular form as well as plural form. Like you have examples given over here, measles or assets. These are the words which already end in S. So there is no need to make another word that is plural. They will be the same whether they are in singular or in plural form. Remember another thing, that when a word is formed by joining two parts, like whenever you are talking about scissors, you have joined two parts and then a scissor is made. So there won't be a singular and a plural word for scissors. Scissors is the word which will be used as singular as well as in plural sense. Spectacles, there are two eyes, so we need two frames for one person. You cannot use one just one circular frame. So it becomes spectacles. Whenever you will write, you will never write spectacle. It will always be spectacles. Where are my spectacles? Or she has spectacles of pink color. Then when we talk about socks, if anybody is asking a question, where are my socks? So of course you refer to socks in a pair. Nobody wears just one pair of socks, just one sock. You always wear a pair, that means it's two socks. So that will become socks. There is no need to write sock. Okay? And then there is no change in the spelling or in the singular and plural in such cases also. Like you can see, furniture, whether we are talking about just one chair or many chairs, tables, stools and wardrobes, we will write the same word, furniture. Or if we are talking about for example, deer, you can say there was a deer standing near the river, or there were many deer standing near the river. You will never use deers. So these are certain words where the word will remain the same in its singular as well as plural form. Now there are some nouns I'm still on page 15. In the bottom of page 15, there are some nouns which are never used in their plural form. Like you always write poetry, or like I said, furniture. You can say there were many pieces of furniture, but you will never use the word furnitures. Then there are some nouns which have particular meaning when they are used in singular form, and the meaning changes when they are used in plural form. Like color, we are talking about a particular type of color, that is maybe red, blue, green, yellow, any color. But when we are talking about in plural sense, he was wearing many colors. That means he was wearing clothes which had many colors. Or when pain word is used in singular sense, we are talking about physical suffering. Generally, how we use the word pain. Like he was having a lot of pain in his stomach. So we are talking about general physical pain. But when we use the word pains, we are talking about somebody's physical suffering as well as efforts. Like for example, you do not have an idea how much pains your parents have taken for your schooling. That means how much efforts your parents have done for your schooling. We come to the next page. Likewise, the word custom. We understand the word custom is used for traditions. Like, for example, in a sentence, if you use the word custom, we follow all the customs of our country. This is one sentence. But when S is added to custom, it becomes customs. Then it becomes, we refer to excise duties or taxes that are paid on the imported goods. Or we can say that there are many customs that are followed in our family. So when we are talking about custom word, we are talking about one custom or one tradition. But when we are talking about customs, it means many traditions or taxes which are paid for imported goods. Now I'll jump to the next page, that is gender. You know, there are 4 kinds of genders: masculine, feminine, neuter and common gender. Whenever a noun is said to be in the masculine gender, it refers to a male, like a peacock, or uncle, father, tiger. These are all in masculine gender. They are referring to males. Then we come to feminine gender. It refers to a female. When we are talking about a girl or a peahen, tigress, actress, aunt, we are talking about a noun that is to be in the feminine gender. Now, a noun is said to be in the neuter gender when it cannot be called a male, it cannot be called a female. For example, a chair. You cannot say the chair is said to be in is a male character or a female character. Or a pillow or a pen. They do not have any gender, so they are said to be having neuter gender. Then we come to common gender. Common gender refers that we are referring both to a male and a female. For example, teacher. Now, teacher can be a madam or a sir, or a doctor can be a male doctor or a female doctor. A baby, before you know the gender, it can be a he or it can be a she. So, I'll continue with this example of baby. I told you about 4 types of genders. Now, there are certain things you need to remember when we are talking about genders. That is the next topic I am coming to regarding gender of nouns. When you are talking about a small baby or a small animal whose gender you do not know, generally you use the word it with it. Because when you do not know the gender, you can say the baby is lying on the bed. It wants milk. So, when you do not know the gender or the baby is very small, you generally use it. Or you can use it for small animals also. On the other hand, when you are talking about collective nouns, like a crowd of people. A crowd of people entered the hall and it grabbed away all the tickets. So, you cannot call a crowd of people he or she, that the crowd of people entered the hall and she grabbed away or he grabbed away. You do not know how many males or females there are in a crowd. There may be children also. There is a mixed gender. So, whenever you are talking about collective nouns, you will always have a neuter gender. Then, there are ways how you can form the feminine gender from masculine gender. The first way is to add ESS. Like I told you, actor, actress. Or lion, lioness. Author, authoress. But there are times, like you have seen in the first block, that is on the top, when you are changing the word from author to authoress, you are only adding ess, or when you are changing the word from poet to poetess, you are only adding ess to the masculine word. But then when you come to the second column, you will see that you have to change the spelling also. When you have to change from actor to actress, you cannot write it like ACTOR, actor, and in front of it you write ESS. That will make it actress. It's a wrong word. So there are times when you will have to change from masculine to feminine, and only adding ESS will not do. You may have to change the spelling also a little bit, like from God to goddess. Now, if you only add ESS, then the spelling will become GODESS. GODESS. That will be a wrong spelling. You need to add an extra D. So you have to change the spelling a little bit to change from masculine to feminine. This has to be done sometimes. We come to the next page. There are times when masculine to feminine is changed and you have to add a she or a maid or a woman. Like a washerman will become washerwoman, or a salesman will become saleswoman. In the same way, milkman becomes milkwoman. Fisherman becomes fisherwoman. If your servant who helps you at home is a male, then you will call him manservant. But if it's a she, or if it's a lady, then you will say it's a maidservant. And then the last way how you can change from masculine to feminine is by changing the word altogether. From boy to girl, here you are not adding any S or ESS, you are changing the whole word altogether. Of when you are changing from father to mother, or from horse to mare, you are changing the word altogether. Then the last topic comes, that is about case. Now the relationship which a noun or a pronoun carries with some other word is called its case. There are three kinds of cases. First is nominative case. When a noun or pronoun becomes the main subject of a verb, it is said to be in the nominative case. Like for example, you can see the examples given in your book. Shekhar has written a book. We sang a song. The stone fell from above. In all these three sentences, you will see the blue word. The blue word is answering the question, who did it? Who wrote a book? Shekhar. Who sang a song? We. Who fell? The stone fell. So nominative case generally answers the question who or what. Then we come to the second type of case, that is the objective case. Here the noun or the pronoun becomes the main object. In nominative it becomes the main subject. Here it becomes the main object and is said to be in the objective case. Examples have been given to you. He tore a book. Or Ramesh learned his lesson. She beats the dog with a stick. So, objective case answers the question of what or whom. He tore a book. What was torn? A book. That's written in blue, the objective case. She beats the dog. Whom? The dog. That becomes the objective case. Ramesh learned his lesson. What did he learn? His lesson. That is in the objective case. And the third is possessive case. When a noun shows possession of something. Deepa's mother. Whose mother? Deepa's. So here remember, the question is whose, that will be answered. We saw the rows of soldiers' tents. Whose tents? Soldiers' tents. Tents will be in the possessive case. The door of the house is closed, or the other way of writing it is the house door is closed. Whose door? Door of the house. That is said to be in the possessive case. So we come to the end of the chapter. There are certain exercises which you need to do. First exercise, there are certain tick marks where you have MCQs. Which noun has one meaning when used in singular and two meanings when used in plural? You know, that's custom. You're talking about custom, you're talking about one tradition. You are talking about customs, then you may be talking about the exercise duty that's given on the imported goods. Then second, which of the following nouns is an example of common gender? You know, that's teacher. Third, subject of a verb in a sentence. When I told you the main subject, when the noun becomes the main subject, it is said to be in the nominative case. And the fourth one, a possessive noun is shown by an apostrophe or by of. Like this last sentence, which is written on page number 18. The door of the house. Like I told you, either you can use the sentence in a way, the house door, and if you are not using the house door, then you can use the door of the house. So in possessive noun, you can use the word of. Now there are certain fill in the blanks that you need to do. You have to write the proper plural form of the word that is given in the bracket. The dash sauntered away. Now buffalo word is given. Out of that you will make a plural of the word that is in brackets. The word that is in brackets is buffalo. You can make the plural buffaloes. The buffaloes sauntered away. Like this, you have been given 6 other sentences in which you have been given the words in the brackets, and each word you have to change into the correct plural form and write it in the space given. Then in the third exercise, you have to write the gender of the noun, whether it's in masculine gender, feminine gender, common or neuter gender. I have done some of them for you. The rest you have to do by yourself. Then we come to the next page. Change the gender. That's quite simple. Wherever there is a woman, you have to make it man. Wherever there is a daughter, you have to make son. But remember, you have to change the gender everywhere. If you are making woman man and daughter into son, then you have to change her into his also. Okay, remember this, that for every word you have to change the gender. You do not have to change the gender. You have to change the gender for all the words that are given to you in italics. So it's not necessary that you change her also. This is what I have written, but you can change only those words that are given to you in italics. Like the word woman is in italics, you change that, the gender of woman into man. Or the word daughter is given in italics, you can change the word daughter into son. No need to change the word her. Only you have been given 8 sentences over here. You only change the word, that word's gender, which word is given in italics. Then you have to write the correct, in the next exercise, you have to write the correct case. Like the first one, the boy's pen. This is the third form of case, that is possessive case. boys, that is showing the possession. Or the sun always rises in the east. Sun is the main subject. So sun will come under nominative case. And east, that is the main object, that will come under objective case. Then rewrite the following sentences using possessive case. Plays of Shakespeare will become the Shakespeare's plays are world famous. Or the second sentence, valuables of the passengers were looted. The passengers apostrophe valuables were looted. Remember, already the word passengers contains an S. So whenever you will put an apostrophe in front of a word that already contains an S in the end, you will only put an apostrophe and you will not put an S. The bicycle of the girl was red in color. The girl's bicycle was red in color. Remember what I told you? Whenever you have to add an apostrophe S in front of a word that is ending with an S, please only put the apostrophe, do not write an S. Like for the second sentence, I am again telling you, valuables of the passengers. You will change the sentence and write the passengers' valuables were looted. So when you will write passengers' valuables, after the word passengers, after S you will put an apostrophe, but you will not write an extra S, because the word passengers is ending at S. That's all. These exercises you have to do in your grammar copy.